It is the sixth largest city in the United States. For a few years, it served as capital of the colonies. Its name is the Greek word for brotherly love. In fact, it is known as the city of brotherly love. But I will tell you now, those facts do mean a few things, but I will tell you, right now those facts do mean a lot for the city that is now the home to the Super Bowl champions. Yes, Philadelphia is the champions of the NFL, and good riddance to New England. 'Cause you know what? I didn't want to see that spoiled rich punk. I didn't want to see the hooded claw, and I didn't want to see the Polish sausage lifting that Lombardi trophy again. 'Cause you know what? We've seen it all before, and we've seen I should say, not only spoiled brat, but one who feels he's entitled. I mean, how he acts. And you saw how he acted after they lost. What a putz. You know what? I mean, the one thing I have to say is congratulations, Philadelphia. The home of Rocky. The home of the Liberty Bell. The home of cheesesteaks. The home of a lot of franchises whose championships have been few and far between. Philadelphia, after nearly 60 years, wins a major football championship. As Rocky Balboa would say, it's pretty good that my hometown finally has won a Super Bowl, but the thing is, I gotta get to training here. I gotta locate my wife. Oh, where's my wife? Yo, Adrian!
Nah, she's not here, Rocky. You know, you gotta start training. You can celebrate the Eagles championship, but you gotta get in there.
Okay, alright, enough with a Rocky. But congratulations to the Eagles. Well-deserved championship, and it was one of the greatest Super Bowls ever. An offensive showcase, 41-33. And even though the Pats threw for 505 yards, valiant effort. Nick Foles, who seemed as though maybe about a year ago it looked as though he might quit football. Boy, what a time to rise up. And maybe Buffalo is maybe interested in making a trade for Nick Foles, because Carson Wentz, I think, is still entrenched as the starter, and he was having an MVP season till he injured his knee. Well, whatever. Well, at least it's not New England. It's Philadelphia who's the champions. Now I'm going to go from talking about the Super Bowl in the NFL, because it's the end of another great NFL season, to another thing that is 4 years in the making. Yes, the athletes of the world are gathering over in Korea, over in Pyeongchang for the Winter Olympics. Thing is, like 4 years ago, it's not too far away from an area that has a little strife. Sochi wasn't too far away from the strife there in the nation of Georgia. And Pyeongchang is only about 60-70 miles from the DMZ that separates North and South Korea. But the thing is, hopefully for 2 weeks, the world can forget about its problems and cheer on the athletes there as they compete in bobsled, luge, hockey, snowboarding, skiing, and all the other great winter sports. It's going to be an interesting 2 weeks over there in Pyeongchang, especially to see if the Flying Tomato can get another gold medal. Even with shorter red hair, Shaun White, this might be his last hurrah. This may be the last hurrah for Lindsay Jacobellis, the greatest female snowboarder of all time, but has yet to win a gold in the Olympics. And also seeing if Elena Myers can win a bobsled gold, and if the U.S. men's bobsled team can get something going and win a medal in honor of Stephen Holcomb, who tragically died last year. But I will tell you, It's going to be an interesting 2 weeks there, just south of the DMZ. And I will say, USA! USA! Well, I'm going to go from talking about them to talking about what is going on with the Orange. First, it seemed as though they tanked the game against Georgia Tech, and then they went up against Virginia on Saturday. But I digress. Virginia definitely looks like a team that can go all the way in the NCAA tournament this year, as Virginia really made the adjustments. Just as Syracuse was playing them even, Virginia took it out, winning 59-44. Yeah, embarrassing loss, but Virginia looks like a team that could win the NCAA tournament. But you know what? Last night, the Orange rebounded with a great road win against Louisville. And I mean, it was big, because right now, SU is squarely on the NCAA tournament bubble. And I mean, the big games are coming up. Yeah, we got a game against Wake Forest on Sunday. But of course, when we close the season, North Carolina and Duke still are on the horizon. And you know, if we can win them, definitely we could maybe punch a ticket to the big dance. But we got to start playing with some consistency, and we got to get some bodies back. Only 6 healthy scholarship players, and we had to have a walk-on come on for a minute last night. But it's definitely crunch time, Orange Nation, on our way to the NCAA tournament. And last but not least, I do want to say, our county executive D'Onofrio and Mayor Warren trying to drive sports one by one out of Rochester. They did that with the Rhinos. Of course, 20 years ago, the Rhinos were one of the best soccer teams there was in the United States, MLS or minor league. There was talk that the Rhinos were going to be in the MLS, which is now taken off like gangbusters. But 20 years later, even after a specific stadium was built, the Rhinos apparently can't afford to field a team. And even though the Dworkins who own the Rhinos tried to ask D'Onofrio and Warren for help, they didn't give it to them and pretty much told them, get your butts out of Capelli Sports Stadium. Of course, the minor league team that Rochester has, the Lancers, are going to be playing in Capelli Sports Stadium. But what irks me is this whole thing with the Red Wings. It seems as though there's just push and pull going on between D'Onofrio Warren, the owners of Rochester Community Baseball, over the lease agreement with Frontier Field. There's even a chance there may not be Red Wings baseball in Frontier Field. Yeah, that does need $6 million in improvements, but that's supposedly a drop in the hat. Work this out. Even Senator Morelli's pissed off about this whole thing. Shows you what happens when you got a mayor and a county executive who at times I don't think they know what they're doing. Work this out. I just wonder if the Amerks are on their horizon. Hey, get out of Rochester. Maybe we could only root for the Kings, who start their inaugural indoor football league season in about a month. Work this out. Rochester loves the Red Wings. I like the Red Wings. Work this out. And that's all the time I have for this week. I'm Ken Haas, and that's my story.